Hi, garden friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Era, and this is Gardening on Purpose. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're a subscriber, welcome back. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video. I garden in Georgia, Zone 8A. It's Sunday, and it's time for a Sunday walkabout. So first up, I want to give you an update on the side yard, right? The last time you saw this part of the yard, you probably saw when I had just put in these wintergreen boxwoods right here. Right? Those are wintergreen boxwoods that grow up to three to 4 feet tall, and they are looking great still. But since then, I've come to put on another row. So here we have the sunshine ligustrum row. Now, these were little ones that were either in a container or they were in a bad spot, so they're not as yellow as they should be. But in fact, that is a sunshine ligustrum. Here's one that looks more yellow. And I know these grow tall. These can grow up to 4 to 6 feet tall, but I will make a conscious effort to keep them low. I will constantly prune them so they won't get to be as tall as they would like to be. And then I had 4, so I put 4 in. And once those 4 were done, I actually put some golden euonymus. Right? Again, these are things that I had gotten on clearance, or they were in a pot somewhere that needed to go in the ground. Right? So there's one, here's another one. And then after I ran out of the golden euonymus, that's 1, 2, 3, I actually had a Paul's Gold Camellia, I think it's called. Let me double check. Paul's Gold, yes, Camellia. And I had one random one, so that's where that is, right? So that's what it's looking like right now. And then after I did that row, I put a row of roses because you guys know I have so many roses that I have nowhere to put, and I wanted to get them out the containers. So here's one right here that needs to be pruned anyway, and then another one that I dug a hole here, and for whatever reason, the water is coming in, and I wasn't sure what the drainage situation is here, so I'm leaving it there to see what the story is. In any case, I have a whole bunch of roses. As you can see, they're doing great because they do have the buds on them. And then right after that, guess what I did, guys? I put in some pavers that I've had. I've had these for quite a while, and they were all over the yard in different places. I didn't know what to put. So then I end up putting them right here as somewhere to walk in the path, right? Because as you can, if I back up, you can see this is a huge bed, and I need to create some walking paths as well. I can't be stomping all over this bed. Now, coming up all the way up here now is still a work in progress, because you can see all these little roses here. These are all roses right here that don't have any leaves on them. And then this is what I have left over for the wood chips for my brother-in-law. Right? He hasn't come and get them yet, but that's what that is. And then I have a lot of other plants that are still in containers because for whatever reason, well, not for whatever reason, I actually haven't gotten to the point where they need to go in the ground yet. So for example, I have 2 butterfly bushes that grow pretty tall. So I don't know if they're going to end up in that spot over there. And then again, all those clearance plants that I keep talking about, I'm starting to move them on this side so it'll be more accessible to me when I start planting them in this area. So where I'm at right now in the process is planting 2 or 3 jubilation gardenias that are in a bad spot in the back. I'm bringing them here because once the tree got cut down, we have more sun for them. So I'm hoping that they take it. So I already planted one, and then I was in the middle of planting this other one right here. And then I'm going to have another one all the way up. So this is what it's looking like. So let me back up so you can see how huge this bed is, guys. I don't know if you guys realize this thing is huge. I mean, I don't think I overdid it, but I really think that I put myself in a position where I have extra work to do, but I think it's going to be ultimately worth it because come spring, this should be a beauty. All right, so here I am in the backyard, guys, and I'm really liking what I am seeing. I finally got to finish all of the wood chips back here. Now, remember the last time you saw this backyard, I still had a bunch of clearance plants in the way, and I had to move them out the way, but you just saw them earlier in the side yard, right? So now I was able to actually get the wood chips going here, and it's looking great, right? And then I have a lot of things that are beginning to show the spring growth. So for example, daylilies are showing up. Now, daylilies do really, really well for me. You guys know I'm a fan of daylilies, especially if it's reblooming, right? Now, the thing with daylilies is once that old foliage is kind of ready, I just pull it off and this new growth shows up, right? Here's another set of daylilies right here. Now, obviously, when they start blooming, I'll definitely give you more details on the type of daylily that is, but this area here is looking great. So the last time I was back here in the ditch garden, I had pointed out one or two of the daffodils that were poking their heads out. But now a lot of them are. You see those green guys here coming through those leaves? Those are all some type of daffodils. I have several types of varieties of daffodils and they're all doing great. Now I'm trying to stay out the area because they're everywhere and I don't want to damage their foliage, but I'm going to try to find what I'm going to do a close up with. Here, right here, you can see it, what they look like right there. Right there. Those are all daffodils, guys. Now, you know, daffodils bloom in pretty much winter and early spring. So you can definitely stay tuned for a beautiful show in the next couple of weeks. Next up, we have the beautiful hellebore that are open completely and blooming really, really nicely. Now, you might have seen two shorts of mine in the last couple of weeks where I was documenting them budded up and then showing you when they first started to open. But now they are completely open and looking absolutely amazing. This here is part of the Ice in Roses series. So this is what it's looking like right now. And then there's another one that's more of a light creamy colored one, which is this one right here. It's kind of windy today, guys. Actually not kind of, it's really, really windy today. But this is what both of the hellebore are looking like. Absolutely amazing. A really nice site for the winter garden with nothing else in this backyard is blooming. This beauty here is a sweet talker viburnum. Now, I've only had it for less than 6 months. It was a clearance plant from Lowe's. But what I like so far is in the fall, the foliage turns a really nice mauvey purple, right? This is what it usually looks like. But then it turns into that color, right? And then now I'm seeing these buds. So I'm excited to see what it looks like when it's actually in bloom. I'm a fan of viburnum. The only downside to a lot of them is that they only bloom in the spring and they have residuals in the fall. But let me know if you have sweet talk of viburnum and how it does in your yard. Now, right next to the sweet talk of viburnum is one of my favorite viburnums. This was a Chinese snowball viburnum. Looks kind of, doesn't look the greatest right now because it is a semi-evergreen for me, right? Depending on our winter, it might keep on the leaves if it's really, really warm, but our winter has been so-so. So you can see some leaves around here, but it's not completely evergreen for me. This guy here is a beauty. These blooms that bloom in the spring is pure white. Huge blooms, guys, that look absolutely amazing. Now, like I said, this one also has residual fall blooms. For whatever reason, I didn't get any this year, but this is what it's looking like. Now, I'm going to try to keep it less than 5 feet and then prune it accordingly. But let me know if you have this beauty in your yard and how it does. Next up, I have this beauty here. This is a camellia that is blooming in my foundation garden, guys. This beauty here is Early Wonder, an evergreen, a really nice glossy, leafy evergreen here for me in Georgia. This was a clearance plant from Lowe's as per usual, and they do absolutely amazing in my yard. What I like about camellias is that they bloom when nobody else is blooming, guys. And look at this huge pinky, purpley, reddy, huge bloom here in the garden. Now, I have different types of camellias in my garden, as you know. So this one here is the Early Wonder, but I do have the Shishi Gashera up there, right there. That's the Shishi Gashera right there. And I also have Snow Flurry that I also got from the Growers Outlet, but those are not blooming right now. They bloomed in the fall, and this one is blooming. Here we are in pretty much the middle of January. Another beauty that's flowering really nicely here in January is the tea olive. This beauty here is an evergreen that has these really nice small little white flowers. They're so small, but they sure do pack a punch, guys. This guy here isn't part sun plant like pretty much all of my foundation planting, because as you know, I have trees in the yard that kind of block certain things, but they're doing absolutely amazing. It's not an overpowering, intoxicating smell, but it smells really, really nice. Another beauty that's doing really well and blooming right now in January is a Loropetalum. Now, this particular one here is supposed to grow 6 feet tall, but this is a recently planted guy, like probably like 2 months ago. So it's going to take a while for it to get to 6 feet tall. But this is a really nice purple evergreen that has these really nice fuchsia-like, pink-like flowers in the cooler weather. They seem to just prefer the cooler weather when it's not too hot and there's not a lot. Just like the Camellia, this is another one that is blooming. There's not a lot on this foundation garden that is doing anything else but just being an evergreen, but it looks really, really nice. That is pretty much it for me today, guys. Let me know what you think. Let me know how things are going in your garden. Please like, please share, and please subscribe. Remember to hit that notification bell so you can be alerted on all my new videos. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.